boxer that attended the USOAC, the Olympic Education Center in Marquette, Michigan. I started boxing when I was 7 years old. When you're at the elite level, every guy is dangerous because you all are top fighters. You all have good skills. But what you do is separate yourself from the other guys. Just try to train hard and being consistent. Because you might have a guy that might win one national title and then won't win the other several national titles that year because they're consistent. So the biggest thing about being at the top level to be the best, you have to be consistent. I feel like at this level, almost any guy can beat anybody because we all are so skillful. But like I said, what separates you from the pack is being consistent. It's showing up every night and taking every fight like it's a championship fight and not looking past them. And that's sometimes easier said than done because guys might get a little cocky or even arrogant because they've experienced so much success. But you got to remember that in this sport, it only takes one punch and it'll be over. So you got to be humble and, like I said, consistent. Able to be the best. Boxing I was a young kid that was involved in a lot of different sports. My father made sure he had me in a lot of different sports. And, I just had a lot of energy, so initially he took me to a karate dojo, I guess you would call it, and it really wasn't for me. It was too slow, I guess. So he took me to a boxing gym. And, pretty much history after that, I kind of fell in love with the sport. Now it's Ron Daniels. He took over when I was about 11 years old, right after I won my first national title at 10 years old. Having him and my dad, it was a good balance because I had my dad who always pushed me, and then I had Coach Ron who was more of a soft-spoken person, but he knew everything. He was real seasoned. I think he helped take me to another level, so I appreciate him. I have 8 national titles. 2 for the National Silver Gloves, 4 for the National Green Gold Gloves, and then I have 1 world title and I have the National Proud title. Actually, the name is Sweet Pea. I'm a big fan of Pernell Whitaker. He's also a crafty southpaw like myself. But when I got up to Olympic Education Center training, we'd be sparring, and a lot of my teammates would look at me as being real slick and crafty, and they'd just start calling me Sweet Pea, and I just kind of took it and ran with it. The speed and my punching power, I feel like my mind is my biggest strength. Because like I said, at this level, you run into guys that have more power, have more speed, but if you can outthink the fighter, then you can be successful in the ring. If I run into a guy that has better hand speed than me, I know how to set the traps to neutralize his speed. If I run into a guy that's a bigger puncher than me, I know how to outbox him and be smart and catch him with shots and not let him catch me. So I feel like my mind is my biggest strength. I feel like any top fighter's biggest strength should be their mind because, like I said, at this level, everybody can punch hard, everybody can punch fast, but it's about being able to neutralize those and use your advantages to be successful. Typical day for me is, we come in, time to at home, just build out the stretch. We got to fight for everything longer because you want to be in tip-top shape. So I'll probably do about 6 rounds of compete in the national tournament, you have to be one of the top guys. When I was 16 years old, Coach Al Mitchell, the head trainer of the USOAC, came down to some shows in Cincinnati, some boxing shows in Cincinnati. He brought his guys down. And even though I was young, I fought one of the older guys, and I put on a good performance. I rather dominated the guy. So Coach Al told me that if I stayed on the right track and stayed out of trouble, that eventually I have a spot there at the USOAC. So going into my senior year, I kept talking to him, and he told me that he had a spot for me. And so once I graduated, I just went straight to Marquette and started training. My entire family has always been real supportive, but most position that I'm in if it wasn't for him. It's kind of sad when I see males grow without their father because I see how important it is for you to have your dad around you. I'm just thankful that I got mine and I got to do it. And I appreciate everything you do for me. One of the most influential people in my life, I would have to say, is my Uncle Craig. Also one of my coaches. He always seems to know the things to say to keep me motivated and keep me spiritually motivated. Also because in this sport, sometimes you have disappointments where you might second guess yourself, but you always let me know that through hard work, faith, and dedication, that you can do almost anything. And I really believe that. I feel like if I train hard and I dedicate myself to my craft, and I really want it bad enough,